Now, my name is Daniel Cox. I want to talk to you tonight about some ethical issues that we might deal with as accounting professionals. Some things we're going to consider and some possible steps to take. I want to talk about the case of Bennie and the Jets. Bennie is a young accounting professional who works for Jet Energy Company. They're a North Carolina utility company providing income to approximately 7 million people in the southern U.S. Jet Energy is allowed a maximum rate of return of 12.5% of its net operating income. If they earn over 12.5%, state regulators can reduce the amount they charge to their customers. Bennie's identified some strange accounting, some irregular accounting that's designed to keep their income below that 12.5%, keeping regulators from reducing what they can charge. Specifically, Jet gets rebates from insurers of power nuclear plants. The premiums paid for that insurance are expensed directly to the cost of electricity. The rebates they're receiving are not credited back to the same accounts. They're not reducing the cost of energy, keeping it high. And by keeping the costs high, they're keeping their rates of return low enough that they don't have to worry about state regulators cutting the rates they charge to customers. After 2 years, Bennie has decided he needs to say something. He knows he has two options. He can either bring it to upper management or talk to the North Carolina Utilities Commission. The first question presented is, what process would you recommend Bennie follow in bringing up his concerns? Would you consider whistleblowing? Bennie ought to consider bringing the matter to the audit committee at Jet. The audit committee at Jet's made up of 3 people who are all members of the board of directors. We don't know if they are independent of the board, independent of management. They're supposed to be. The audit committee is supposed to be independent of the management. Assuming they are, this might be a good idea. It would be a good idea. If they're not independent, or if nothing happens after bringing it to the audit committee, then you maybe ought to consider whistleblowing. It's not to be taken lightly, kind of a scary thing. Recent legislation has made it safer for whistleblowers, but there's still concerns. Does the organization have a whistleblowing policy? Are they supportive? Is there organizational support for whistleblowers? Specifically, a big issue is, do they keep anonymity of whistleblowers? In recent years, a lot of whistleblowers have found they don't have anonymity. A lot of backlash, unhappy fellow employees. It can be really ugly. So it's something to really pay attention to. Bennie's asked for advice, so I want to put together a plan of action. As a friend, what advice you do? The first thing I would do is say, talk to your direct supervisor in the accounting department, unless that supervisor is involved in the funky accounting. If he is, obviously you don't want to take it to him. But I'm of the school of thought you don't go over something he said unless you need to. So talk to your supervisor unless you can't. Or if nothing happens after you talk to your supervisor, talk to the audit committee. If nothing's done after the audit, because this is fraud. I mean, at this point, what is uncovered is fraud. The audit committee should know. If no action is taken after you talk to the audit committee, you should talk to the North Carolina Utilities Commission. The ethical values that are front and center in deciding how Bennie should, how to advise Bennie, are honesty, integrity, and objectivity. Basically, the bedrock of her profession. Reasons and rationalizations that we might get from stakeholders are, it's for the good of the company, it's for the good of the shareholders, it's for the good of your fellow employees, their security. These are all things that we're going to get probably as arguments against. To counter these, remain focused on integrity, point out the fact that we have an obligation as accounting professionals protect integrity, not to perpetrate fraud. Further, he could point out that if this is discovered on audit, the damage to the company via fines and reputational damage would far exceed any benefit we're getting from the strange accounting. In addition, you can mention the upper management certifies these financials, saying they're free from material misstatement. In this case, it would be impossible to legitimately certify these financials. Then you could point that out. These all would be levers that you could use to convince people who are arguing against him. My final advice to Bennie would be can't remain silent. Bring this to the attention of someone. He has an obligation. Remaining silent in this case could actually lead him to the level of culpability. It's not fun, but that's kind of what we deal with as accounting professionals. Thanks.